Today I'm going to explain a film called Return to Sender from 2015. In the start of the movie, we see a woman named Miranda. She works at the hospital as a nurse, and we're shown that a surgery is being performed in the hospital, and Miranda was looking at it very carefully and enthusiastically. In reality, she wants to work as a surgical nurse, and she was studying for it. For the last couple of days, she was in charge of the treatment and care of an old lady, but she dies. Miranda then goes to the old lady's son and tells him that her mother didn't suffer, and she died without facing a lot of pain, and that it was good for her. She was trying to comfort him, but that man said it's not good. She should have suffered more. She didn't get what she deserves. She's given me a lot of pain in the last 29 years. She should have suffered exactly the way that I did. Miranda was shocked because she thought this man loved his mother, and that's the reason why he used to come to the hospital daily to check on his sick mother. But in reality, he hated her, and the reason why he visited her every day was just to see her suffering. Then we see that after her shift ends, she goes back to her home, and on the way she goes to the laundry shop to pick up her clothes. She then sees a man who is flirting with a girl who works at the laundry shop, but she doesn't pay much attention to it because she was in a hurry. While leaving, the girl calls her and gives her receipt of the clothes to sign, and while signing, we see that her hands are shaking. This thing has started to happen to her in the last few days, and because of this she was not able to write with normal pens, so she's ordered a special type of pen to help her while writing, because if she's not able to cure this thing, her dream of becoming a surgical nurse will not come true. On the next day, she goes to her father's house to meet him, and her father has gotten himself a new dog. And this new dog doesn't know Miranda, because of which, when Miranda goes to her father's home, this dog barks at her and soon attacks her. She rips her clothes, and Miranda gets very angry. Her father comes to her rescue, and then they go inside the house. Miranda tells him that she's going to move into a new house, to which her father tells her that he wants to check this new home of hers, and Miranda agrees. Her father really loves her, and he's really happy because of her visit, so he takes her out to a restaurant to eat. And while they were eating and talking, a man in the restaurant who was also eating there started to choke, and Miranda, without wasting any moment, showed great courage and her amazing skills. She cuts open his throat and shoves down a plastic pipe in his throat, and by doing this, she saves his life. Then on the next day, her friend asks her to make a cake for her. Making and decorating cakes is also Miranda's hobby, and she's really good at it. Then her friend tells her that she has arranged a date for her. She says that Kevin is a great guy, and he'll take good care of her. She strongly insists that Miranda should go out with him. Miranda finally agrees to this date, and on the next day we see that she was looking forward to the date, but surprising things happen, and the man comes to her home. She thinks it's Kevin, and she also finds it a bit awkward, because he's come there before the fixed time, but still she invites him in. At that time, her delivery of the special pen also arrives, and the man helps her in unpacking it. As Miranda was not wearing good clothes, she tells him that she'll go and change, and she also offers him lemonade to drink. Now Miranda is also very suspicious of this man, because first he came before the time, and second, he was not dressed in a way a man should be dressed when he's going out on a date. Feeling uncomfortable, she asks him to leave, and tells him to come back at the time that was fixed by them before. But the man says that he won't go back,